What up, peeps? Welcome back to the flip side. The Mega Man 8 review. I've been dreading doing this video. I had to come back the next day to make this video because it took me a long time to beat Mega Man 8. And you know why? Because of just how garbage it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to skip through this intro because it's just way too long for this kind of video. But I'll show a snippet. I'll show probably the coolest part. Look at this nice artwork. We have this strange, not strange, but yeah, a strange story. And it's about this dark energy crashing down onto Earth. And then we have this other robot trying to fight it. And the new character, his name is Duo. He's trying to find this dark energy and stuff like that. We have this nice 90s anime style for an intro until you hear the voice acting and it just gets absolutely atrocious, which is why I have this on mute. Alright, so I basically explained the story. Let's get into the game. Okay, here's Grenade Man. Let me unmute. So we start off with the 4 Robot Masters choice, which that's not all bad. The game is looking the best it's ever been. Look at the animation in the back. We have this nice modernized music. The animations are very fluid. You know, everything sounds good except for the voice acting. So, and we have a cool cast of Robot Masters and weapons. That's about it for the game. That's it. That's all I can do to give this game credit. Because the rest of this review is going to be all negative. So let's start off with the mechanics of the game and the stages themselves. Now, I have to give Mega Man 8 credit for trying to do something different. But once again, Capcom never really looked past things looking good on paper. Because they sure as hell did not work in real life. So, let's get into Mega Man himself. Mega Man has delayed jumping because of the animation or however he was programmed. So you have to time your jumps based off of the delay, which makes the game a lot harder and makes Mega Man a lot more difficult to control. You have to time your jumps around enemies and over pits. Now, in this game, it was harder to get over long jumps than Mega Man 7. And a lot of the times, I'm falling to my death. A lot of the times, I'm getting hit by enemies that I timed to jump over correctly. But because the game does not function properly, I'm getting hit. Another garbage aspect of this game is the stage design. It's not fun. First of all, the stages would be better if they focused more on them. There's really nothing to the stages. Alright? You have very few times where you're actually enjoying the stage because it's interrupted by a mini boss and it's interrupted by some other thing that you wouldn't even turn this game on to play. Alright, Tengu Man stage, halfway through it is this Galaga shooter. Astro Man stage, you are trying to maneuver through a maze. And then there's another part where you're trying to jump up past the falling floor. And in Swordman stage, you're going through rooms and doing puzzles. And let me not forget the swimming in this game. Yes, instead of the slow jump that you would normally have for Mega Man games, you're swimming. And it doesn't work properly. It's jank. Alright? there are some places where you are trying to go and you don't mean to go that far or that high because the swimming just doesn't work properly. Another crazy broken thing about this is the Mega Ball that you just saw on screen. That's the new showcased weapon that you're going to be using throughout the game. And it basically functions as Rush Coil, because you are not given Rush Coil at all in this game, unless it's through the shop. I don't remember exactly. What are you doing a review for if you don't remember? Because a lot of this stuff that you would usually have in a Mega Man game is through the shop. You don't even get E-Tanks in the shop. They're not present in this game at all. You do get extra lives, thank God. And then you just saw Rush in the form of the bike, and it's practically useless. There are no moments in this game where you feel like you need to use the Rush bike. All right. Oh yeah, and not to mention, one other thing I want to say about the stages is that Frostman's stage has this snowboarding section where it doesn't work properly. Your jumps are also delayed. And I guess you guys know of the infamous jump, jump, slide, slide meme in the Mega Man community. And that's because even when it's warning you when to jump and when to slide, there's no way of knowing when you're supposed to jump, when you're supposed to slide, and how far you're supposed to jump. Because you can use the joystick to move back and forth, you know, but that still doesn't help. What's the point of moving yourself back and forth if there's no way of knowing the timing of the jump and your positioning? You have to do this again in Wily Stage 1, and it's even harder. And it's basically 3/4 of the entire stage. What else? What else? Yeah, that's about it. So, a lot of the times, or I should say half the time, you're not even playing Mega Man. You're playing some other game you didn't buy. So half the Mega Man stages are not even... Half the stages are... half the stages have half the stages that are not even Mega Man stages. So half the stages are not even Mega Man stages. When you add it up, and they even fucked up the Proto Man whistle. They got the pitch off, and it has this weird, like, I don't know sound design, but it has this weird whistle where it sounds like it's going in and out. I don't know what that is. But they managed to fuck up the Proto Man whistle. As I'm speaking here, you're going to see the snowboarding section. And a lot of times, people would just rage quit. Like, they don't want to play this game anymore because they have to do that. And you know what? That's understandable. The first time I ever played Mega Man 8, I rage quit on the first Wily stage. I somehow beat it again. I don't know. Somehow I beat the game. And so let's get into the weapons. Now the weapons are great. The Mega Ball is so broken, you can use it in midair to bounce off of the ball in midair. And you can use it to skip through a lot of the sections of the levels. And it also does an exorbitant amount of damage, so it's good for combat. Clown Man's weapon, which I don't know why anybody asked for a Clown Man. And that's like a fan favorite Robot Master for some reason. A Clown Man. And certain types of people really like Clown Man, and it's for the reason that you think. But anyway, Clown Man's weapon, the Thunder Claw, lets you, like, grab onto poles that you can swing off of, which is a nice touch, but it still kind of feels not like a Mega Man game. You're like, what game am I playing? Am I playing like some kind of jungle swinging game? Or am I playing Mega Man? You know, where I'm jumping and shooting. Anyway, Grenade Man's weapon, the Flash Bomb, is really good for damage. It's basically just a bomb that the explosion lasts for a good amount of time. The Ice Wave from Frostman is used on the floor and walls, and it scales floors and walls. Tengu Man's weapon, the Tornado Hold, launches a tornado that it doesn't travel the screen, but it stays at a certain point, and then you can use it to elevate yourself over certain platforms. And before I move on to the other half of the weapons, there's parts of the stages where you wouldn't know that you had to use the weapons. There's certain points where you have to use Tengu Man's weapon to get over walls. Right? There's certain points where you don't even know you're supposed to use the Thunderclaw. But I suppose you had to just figure that out. And then Aquaman's weapon, which Aquaman does not look like DC Comics Aquaman. He looks like a water tank or whatever. It's just a water balloon. It's called water balloon, and it operates as a water balloon. It doesn't do anything else. Swordman's weapon is a melee weapon, and it's very close range. It's very close range to the point where I don't even want to use it. Like, I have to get right up to something and use it. You know, there's barely any range to it. The search... what is it called? The search weapon? The search missile? It's a homing device. And that's about it. And then Astro Man's weapon is just a screen nuke. Now, when you're using the weaknesses against the Robot Masters, it's not fun. It's not fun to fight. So I basically just want to use the Mega Buster because at least it's more enjoyable. I really don't feel like stun locking Astro Man, or I don't feel like having the Robot Masters do the same cycle from their weaknesses over and over again. So you even have to make it to where you have to enjoy the game. You don't even get to enjoy the fights when you're using their weaknesses. Here we are again at the snowboarding section. Now, the Robot Masters are pretty cool themselves. Tengu Man, he's like a flying samurai robot, and if you get caught in his tornado, he'll like drop kick you in the air. That's pretty cool. Searchman, he is like a military robot. He's got 2 heads, and they both talk. Swordman is pretty cool. He can separate his body from his torso and his legs, and he does this cool like fire blade spinning attack. And that's about it. Only like half the robots are cool. For some reason, Grenade Man giggles when you damage him, which is really off-putting. My favorite Robot Master is probably Tengu Man. Now, let's move on to the Dr. Wily levels. The Dr. Wily levels are really bad because I already mentioned Wily 1. There's a part in Wily 2 where you're doing another Galaga shooter and you're moving through these walls, and the rush jet that you're riding on doesn't move up and down fast enough to where you will die multiple times trying to get under and over walls, which is just infuriating. Like, what game are we playing here? Are we playing Mega Man, or are we playing some other weird game? Right? I would hesitate to call this a true Mega Man game. And then Wily 3 is just abysmal. I mean, you fight Base again, which is cool, but he's pitifully easy. Fighting Duo is cool, and he has his own theme. And that's about it. But he's easy. He's not even challenging. He's not even fun. It's just look out for the spinning ball move he does, and then just dodge his easily dodgeable punch to the ground. It's like fighting Anchor from Mega Man World 2. I'm not even kidding. It's like they took inspiration from Anchor and they were like, let's just do a remixed version of that. Alright, and so we have our obligatory Mega Man Robot Master rematch. And then we have the Dr. Wily fight. Now, the space between you and the Wily machine is not fun to deal with at all. The fight is so close up. And you have like these projectile laser balls you have to dodge, and you also have to dodge this saw that's coming at you. Remember, you have jump delay. So half the time you're timing your jumps correctly. It's not you, it's the fucking game. And so, because we don't have E-tanks, I found that you had to use this rush ability where he would come in and shower you with health and weapon energy. You only get like one of those on default. So you have to do the Wily machine and the Wily capsule basically in one life and not die. And one of his attacks in the Wily capsule phase is to do the attack from Wily capsule from Mega Man 7. Which is like, why would you bring that back? Why would you do that? You know that was one of the most infuriating parts of the game. And you decide to bring that back. And so, after you defeat Wily, you know, he gets away, of course. And here, I'll show you just for a second. And the key to defeating the Wily capsule is to just spam him with the grenade, okay? And you have to keep spamming him, or else he will get his unavoidable laser attack, which does a fuck ton of damage. So this is it. This is the final fight. Look how just uninspiring this is. This is garbage. So I'm not gonna let this video go on too long. But Mega Man is unconscious because for some reason he falls under the I would say illness of the dark energy. And so here's Duo with his good energy trying to help him out. And of course it works. And that's the last we see of Duo. He walks off into the distance and then he leaves Earth. That's it. So that's Mega Man 8. And look at look at Capcom. They actually show the drawings that won the contest for the Robot Masters. And this music is not at all like a Mega Man credits theme at all. So, enough said. Let's get to the tier list. Okay, so here we are at the tier list. Where am I going to put Mega Man 8? Now, I don't know why people defend this game. I really don't. It just appeals to them for some reason. It's going to B tier. All right? It is what it is. There's no argument. No argument to be had. Had to adjust something there. There's no argument to be had, like I said. The stage mechanics are bad. Mega Man operates very badly. That's it. Half the levels are not even levels. Just disappointment. It took me like 4 hours to beat that game. And I'm never playing it again. Ever. I had a much better time beating Wily's Revenge. Alright? Because it acted like a Mega Man game. And I can't believe I'm praising Wily's Revenge. But what it has over Mega Man 8 is that it was a Mega Man game. Anyway, and I can hear you now. Just buy the upgrades. Just get good. You know, if you can get through the game much easier if you combo your weapons. This is advanced stuff. Okay, I'm supposed to just know that. Like, I'm supposed to just know that as I'm playing, you know? Oh, I'm sorry I didn't become a pro like you so that I can see why the game is good, in your opinion. I'm sorry you have I'm not sorry. Just because you're better at the game doesn't make the game better. Just because you enjoy the game better than I do, because you're better at the game, and you've mastered all of the pro strats and the speedrunning strats, doesn't mean the game is better. I'm sorry. I do not care to time the Mega Ball jumps in the air. I do not care to combo my weapons, because you can do that. I do not care to buy the upgrades. I would like Mega Man to operate as he should. And what he has is a slide and a Mega Buster. And it shouldn't be any harder than that. But it is. Because I can't even get my jumps correct. Because the game is shit. And by the way, the upgrades really don't make that much of a difference. I'm sorry. They really don't. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time here. This was such a miserable game to get through. The only thing I can give Mega Man 8 is that it had good music and cool characters and good animation and good weapons. That's it. Everything else was garbage. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Mega Man 9 is going to be so much better. I promise you. I promise you. Without a further ado, and with all that said, I will see you all next time back on the flip side. Peace out.